Makeover Monday, week 38. Watch me viz. I'm pretty sure it's week 38. And this week we're going to be looking at data about New York street level heat. The original article is super interesting. I'll show it to you in a second. But if you're new here, my name is Andy. I run these live streams every week to help you learn more about how to use Tableau. You will, even if you're an experienced user, you'll probably learn something. You'll learn a lot about how I solve problems in Tableau and a lot more. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And it would also be really helpful if somebody could let me know if you can hear me or not. That would be great. So bottom right. Okay. Yeah, so if somebody could let me know if you can hear me, that would be wonderful. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the original article. So we're going to go to the Makeover Monday website and then go to Datasets. And I'll scroll down to the, it's week 39, not week 38. So I'm going to scroll down to the original article, and it's focused on the wealth divide between based on heat in New York. So the main part of this is to scroll down and look at these two maps. Really interesting. Now, we don't have data around the 25% of households living in poverty. Probably could find that, but for now, I just wanted to focus on this top section here. So you can see the hotter areas are in Harlem and the Bronx, and that just happens to be where there's been more people living in poverty as well. So there's some kind of relationship there. It doesn't necessarily mean, that there's a causal relationship, but there's definitely a correlation between the two. Now, the data that we are using is from New York City Open Data. And always include the link in there in case you have any questions. So the data set includes average hourly values at approximately 675 locations in degrees Fahrenheit. Now, this is a very, very large data set. It doesn't even say how many rows. There you go, 2.1 million rows. So quite big. We have the air temperature, the day, the hour, okay, the year, at the borough, and the NTA code. I'm not quite sure what NTA code is. So it might be useful to join this to a data set about, let's see, let's see if it says here. So, okay, I think, so borough is just going to be plain text, and that's it. So we could join to a New York spatial file for New York boroughs. So I'm worried that it might slow the data set down, but we'll give it a chance anyway. And good morning, everyone. Okay, where's everybody from? So I see I've got one person from India at least, but I imagine we probably don't have many people in the US because it's only 6:30 on the East Coast right now. Okay, so I've already got Tableau open. And I'm going to go ahead and connect to my data source. Where is it here? More. By the way, is the sound any better this week? Because I moved the microphone closer to my face, and I'm curious to know if the sound quality is a bit better. So if you've listened in the past, of course. Okay, so Makeover Monday, data 2023. And it's this file here. Okay. Oh, Perth, Australia. Hey, Gerard. Nice to see you. Rather early. So, Filippo, are you on the West Coast, or the East Coast? Hope you're not on the West Coast. Sound is good. Okay, great. So here's the temperature data, and I'm going to go ahead and add my spatial file. I need to remember what it's called. New York, that's New York zip codes. I don't want New York zip codes. I have another data set somewhere. Okay, so let me just search. I'm pretty sure I have it somewhere. Where is it? My drive. Let's go to data sources. Just bear with me for a second. I'm trying to find a data set that is the New York boroughs. So let's see. New York, zip codes, councils. Okay. Let me just search. Okay, so this one is in that. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this over to my Makeover Monday folder. Okay, so that should be there. Okay, excellent. So now I can go back to Makeover Monday, data 2023, and let's pick New York City boroughs, and then the shapefile. And I'm going to, let's see, so I'm going to drag this. No, I can't do it. Can I do a join with a spatial? Well, I'm just going to join by name, so it doesn't matter. So what I want to do here is I want to pick the borough on the left and the borough name on the right. Okay, so that looks good. I don't need either of these fields. And then maybe I'll rename, instead of calling this one geometry, let's call it borough shape. All right, and then I want to look at my performance options, and in my cardinality, so let's talk through this real quick. So this will aggregate values in borough aren't unique, or you don't know. Okay, that's good. But on the right-hand side, we want to pick one, because if we hover over, values in borough name are unique. So that's what we want. And then down here in the bottom, some records match. So I think we want to change this to, if I hover over it again and see what it says, come on. So some records don't have a match in the shapefile, or you don't know. So I want to make sure that only records that have a borough name match. So we want to do all to all. So this means all records in my shapefile have at least one match in the temperature data set. And in the temperature data set, lots of records have one match in the shapefile, and every record will have a borough name. So let's call this, hopefully I explained that okay. Temperatures, okay, so let's go here. Excellent. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is just look at how many records are in here just to double check. So let's just put it on text. We've got 2.1 million records. Okay, so one thing you don't want to do is to put all of the records in. You don't want to put all of every single measurement in the view, because you will then end up with a data set. Sorry, the Tableau just won't be able to render the map because you're trying to put 2 million marks on a map. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, California. So Nico from California. Why in the world are you awake in California? Okay, so we could start by just looking at maybe the borough name. And let's see. Oh, interesting. So there's some. Okay, so they must not have done any measurements in. Right. So we've got a problem here then, because if I bring in borough name, Staten Island is here, but it's not here. That's probably okay. That's fine. And let's look at, we want the air temperature to be an average. That's our default. And let's go ahead and just put that here. So the average temperature is, let's turn the labels on, right? So we get 76, 75. Okay. And then I think in the original article, what did they say here? Does it say? Yeah, they have it as 1 decimal place. So I'm going to set my default number format to be a number to 1 decimal place. And then I'm going to put, degrees Fahrenheit. I'll just put F. I could put a degree symbol in there. I'll just do F like they did. Okay. So maybe I'll actually switch these around, and let's make this a text label. And then, okay, let's hide that. Let's make these numbers a bit bigger. So I'm going to just create some bands. So let's make this maybe like 28. Let's make it Tableau semi-bold. There we go. Okay. So, okay, and then I'm going to center align them. And I'm going to put them at the top so they get closer to the names for the boroughs. Okay, so I won't worry about that yet. So this is average average temp per borough. But that just got me thinking about something. So if I put year here, actually, let's do this day field. Let's say we want to do by month. So they skipped some months. Okay, so we only have data for the summers for 2018 and 2019. Okay, so that's useful to know. So let's make this discrete. Okay, so we can do some comparisons between those 2 years, right? And if I put the hour, it should be a measure, or sorry, dimension. And then if I put the average temperature on there, we get July, August, right? That makes sense, right? So if I put year, and then let's make this month, hide that. Okay, and then let's format this to be a abbreviation. Okay, so we get something like that. Now the default colors for them goes from this kind of light blue, so kind of cold to hot. So let's see if I have a color palette to use. So I'm setting a default color palette, and it goes from, I think I have one here, temperature. Probably this one would do. Yeah, I think that's okay. My blue is a bit, looks like my upper color is okay. So let me just change my lower color to be, okay, the upper color looks okay. And then the middle should be like a grayish color. So I don't think I can change that. There it goes. Okay, so now we get something like that. Yes, that looks better. And then we could maybe put some borders on if you want. Yeah, I like the borders. And there we go. So we've got a nice little heat map. So this would be average temp by hour and month. And you could break this down by weekday if you wanted as well. So let me just drag this here, and we can look at weekday. And do we get certain weekdays out of it? So let me just do fit entire view. Oh, okay. So that's pretty interesting, actually. So we've got, you can see middle of the day, which makes sense. And then it looks like middle of the week as well. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then it cools off Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. So let me actually duplicate this because I want to keep it as its own sheet by hour, month, month and weekday. And then this one, I'm just going to get rid of the weekday. Okay. And we could, if we wanted, just look at it by weekday. Right. So we get something like that, standard. And we see, yeah, so this is average temperature by weekday. So heat maps, pardon the pun, look really good in this case. Weird Dream. Good morning from Africa, Guinea. Oh, very nice. Thank you for joining us all the way from Africa. Okay. Curious to see how many died to the cold. So Coyote 9, this is the middle of the summer in New York, so you're probably not going to see people die from the cold. That would be pretty unusual. Okay, so we have that. I wonder if we looked at something like, let's try a different take on that. So let's look at, this isn't going to probably look very good, but I'll try it anyway. So average temperature. Let's make this let's make this continuous. And then if I split this up by weekday, we get something. Okay, so this doesn't really tell us much. That's not very useful. So duplicate, we can get rid of weekday. So what if we chose, let's start with a month here. And then I'm going to put day onto detail and add this to color as well. And let's reverse this. Okay, there we go. So now 2018 is all in blue. 2019 is all in orange. Great. Yeah, so that doesn't tell me much either. What might be useful is to look at month over month temperatures. So in other words, comparing 2018 to 2019. So let's look at average temperature. Let's just put it here. And we want to have, let's just do that and that and that. Okay. But what I want to do is I want to compare 2018 to 2019. So let's put year onto color. We could do year and day. And then we could compare the two values. So, okay, so this is just comparing them, which I think actually looks pretty neat. So month and day. Let's duplicate this. Maybe we should make this one continuous. Let's see. Let's make day continuous. That might make it look a bit better. Day of day. Now, if I duplicate this, I want to look at which one of these is greater than the other. So I'm going to add a table calculation. I don't know what even happened there. Oh, wrong window. So we want to do difference from, we want to say for each year, no, we want to compare by year for each day and month. Okay. Relative to 2018. All right, so now let's make this discrete again and make these bars. And we could, if I make this previous, there we go. So I'm getting 123 nulls down here because that's my 2018 data. So let me hide that. And this is now telling me which year is bigger. So let's move that to detail. And maybe I'll use my air temperature again on color. Oh, I thought I set my default colors, default properties, color. Oh, okay, there we go. So what I'm going to do here is, no, I want to do this field onto color. Right. Okay, and then we want to fix the center at 0 to make sure that that's okay. Okay, so this is looking at 2018 versus 2019 and the difference in temperature by day of the month. So let's see how many records we have here. So we have 20 days that are, oh, actually, why don't I just do it this way? So we have 61 days out of 123 that are warmer. So it actually got cooler. Okay, so that's interesting. So we could, so this is 2019 versus 2018 by day. So it's actually cooled down a bit, but let's look at this in a slightly different way. So I'm going to duplicate this sheet. So I want to look at it overall. So let's get rid of that. And we don't need color. And let's bring that onto label. Okay, edit table calc. Difference from relative to. Let's make this text. Okay, let me clear the table calc and just start over. So our average temperature for 2018 and 2019. Okay, so it's got cooler. So that's actually a number that might be useful. This is kind of the overall. I wonder if I could put it on here. So if I put year, let's just do that here. Okay, there we go. So these are our kind of big numbers here. So let me just duplicate that, get rid of borough, and then make this difference from, right. So 2019 is almost half a degree cooler than 2018. So let's just move that there. Why does that not work? Okay, so let's just hide that and then hide the header. Okay, so this is 2019 versus 2018. So we can delete that. Right. Okay, so let's do a bit of mapping, but I am concerned about the size of the data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just looking at a single day. Hopefully this isn't too terrible. Let's look at number of records here. So I've got 8,000. Okay, so 8,000 measurements on that one day. So let's do, so that's going to give us New York, and then put our sensor ID onto detail because they each have their own location. Okay. Are any of these other fields going to do something? So that's 356 marks. Install type, still 356. Okay. So that's the, okay, so I need to add hour to detail. What did that do now? That's 8,000 marks. So that's all of the marks for that. And then let's put the air temperature on color. Right, so they're all kind of overlapping each other, which isn't particularly helpful. So if I just look at it by sensor, so it's interesting. I wonder, so we have these two sensors. So install type, we have, we have light pole and street tree. Okay, so they're both probably around the same height. Right, so let's pick a different day because maybe this one doesn't have that many measurements. So let's just go all the way to the bottom. Let's pick maybe, I don't know. Let's see, we'll pick July 23rd. It's a very special day to me. Right, okay, so there's our air temperature. So nothing, so 70.7, 86.8. Okay, so I'm going to take a risk here and let's get rid of the install type. We don't need that. Okay, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Actually, why don't I make this month? And then let's edit the filter. Nope, that's okay. So this is now giving me every record, but not for every hour. Okay, so this doesn't, this is just the average by the sensor ID, but see theirs is a lot more, is a lot more dense. Okay, so let me try something else. Let me create a calculation that is, so Priyanka from Hamburg, we have a data school in Hamburg. All right. So let's look at this as, let's just call this sensor location. And I'm going to use the make point function. And this needs to be, I always get this backwards, latitude, comma, longitude. So latitude, comma, longitude. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to know, actually, it's not just the sensor location, it's the measurement location. So I should only get one measurement. Yeah, so that's interesting. How are they doing this heat map if they don't have There aren't measurements everywhere. Huh, what am I doing wrong? So we've got, okay, so we have all the data. But it's interesting that theirs is just clustered, where in this map, it looks like there's a lot more measurements. Okay. Right. And then let's put Borough onto detail. Okay, there we go. Okay. But I still don't understand how they're getting this kind of heat map without data at that level of granularity. Okay, so let's see. See, it says there's 475 locations. Okay, so let me just see how many locations I have. 423. Okay, so I do have let me just try something here. If I say, let's do some records match here. Okay, I still have 423. Okay, that's what I expected. So all records match. Okay, so I just don't see how, well, let's see, what does this look like? Create visualization in, let's just see what it says here. No, I don't know. So we do have all the right sensors. So yeah, I have no idea how they would have drawn this map. It doesn't make sense. Okay. So maybe what we should do then is we should, if I just do a second map layer here, so this shows us where each of the locations is, which is fine. And then if I put sensor ID onto detail, let's make these circles. No, it's okay. Okay, so that changed my background map as well because the colors. Okay. And I wonder if these all start with the same abbreviation, BK. Okay, so they look like they all start with a different 4-character or 3-character. So if I split these by the underscore, yeah, okay, so let's do this. Let's right-click. We want to transform custom split. We want to split by an underscore. We want to split off the first column. Okay, so let's rename this as, I'll just call this one sensor ID. And if we put that on here instead, we should get the same number of marks, I believe, right? Okay. Right. Yeah, so that's not going to work. So these are all the sensor IDs. Okay. So let me go back then and let's do average latitude, average longitude, by our new sensor ID field. And then let's put the air temperature onto color. And there we go. So we could resize. So I'm just kind of aggregating together the different the sensor IDs. So instead of having like 50 marks here or whatever it was, let's see how many marks do we have here. So instead of having 34 marks here, I now am aggregating it up into one single mark. Okay. So again, this doesn't tell us a whole lot, but we could maybe do some sort of drill down from one to the other. Okay, so let's try this. So let's create a parameter. Let's call it our sensor parameter. That's going to be a string. The current value I'll leave blank for now. Let's match the string. And okay, so let's show that parameter and set up our action. Let's call this update sensor parameter. We want to do it on click. Our target parameters are sensor parameter, sensor ID, and we want to reset it to nothing. Okay, so now, okay, so that's Q/JC. All right, and then this one would zoom in there. Okay, so and then this one, we want to create a parameter that is our sensor ID detailed parameter. And this again will be a string. Get rid of that. Let's show this parameter and then create an action. Okay. All right. So what we should see now is when I click here, it filters. When I click here, it does not. Okay, so let's call this our sensor drill down filter. And we want to say sensor ID is equal to sensor parameter. And this should then allow this to filter into the one that I pick. Okay, great. So we could maybe do something like that. So if I choose a different one, this map should change. There we go. Excellent. Why is it not switching? What the heck? So let me swap these around. So this is our temp by sensor, aggregated temp by sensor. So I could put these into a dashboard and do a dynamic zone visibility drill down. And maybe we should do that. So if we look at, if I duplicate this, let's just get rid of Borough. And let's put our filter here. Then that's going to filter down to that. Okay, so, but I don't necessarily want to do that. Okay, I don't know if we'll use this or not, but we could drill down here. So if I now remove that, this is going to go blank. Okay, so I want to edit my filter. Let's say, or sensor parameter equals blank. And that should come back. Okay, so if I click on one, it should drill it should drill in. Yep. And if I click off of it, it should drill back out. Excellent. So we could maybe do a drill down if we wanted to. I'm not sure yet. Okay. So we've looked at, so the map, I was hoping we could do something like the map, but it's not particularly interesting. So that's that. That's by hour and weekday, which I think looks pretty cool. And yeah, we would want to show that though. 2018, 2019. So of course the summers are hotter. I'm going to, let's see, format this view. I think I'm going to use this one just because I like the way it looks. So the row divider, we want to not have a paint divider. That's fine. But the column divider, we want to just have between the years. Okay, there we go. So let's make this maybe white, and let's make it really thick. And then that's should be okay. Maybe we should use, let's try a black color instead. Maybe a medium. Yeah, something like that. So now I'm just trying to make it easier to distinguish between the 2 years. Okay, so I like this one. So let me color that one just so I know I might want to use it in my dashboard. And then let me format the weekdays to be first letter. Okay. We have by weekday, by month and weekday. Okay, what if we did by borough as well? So it's all pretty similar. Okay, so nothing really particular there. So okay, so we don't need to worry about that. That one's not useful. So which view do I like better? Probably this one. So I could call this yes, let's try this. Let's do no. Oh, I was going to color it. That's what I was going to do. But one thing we could do then is we could let's hide this while I'm thinking. If we take this view, let me just duplicate this. And if I get rid of the hourly view, and let's just make it fit width. Okay. This gives us kind of the total down the columns. So this would be average temp by month and weekday. And then if I duplicate it again and I get rid of, I just want to look at it by hour. This would be my average temperature by hour. But I wonder if I could put totals on here. Let's see. Totals. Yeah, so the grand totals don't show me a color. So let's make this an average. Yeah, so those aren't showing the color. Okay, so let me get rid of that. So what I'm thinking now is I'm going to have something like, can I do a heat map in here? Is there a heat map option? Yeah, so that's a heat map. So our heat map kind of looks like this. And then what I want to do is I want to have like a let me see, can I So it's not going to let me shrink it down. Okay. I want to have basically one more column to the right of this one. It's not going to let me do it, is it? So, oh well, that's okay. Yeah, you'll see in a minute. So let me just put some thoughts together here. So we're going to have the heat map in the middle. And then we could have so that's going to be by hour. And then we could have it by borough as well. Yeah, so that would look like that. How do we want to do that? Let's just get rid of that. This is a year. Okay, so I think I might want to use this one. Let's see, color and red. So these three all go together. I don't need that one. Okay. So this is by month and day. And then this one, where is it here? This is by year, month, and weekday. So if I duplicate this and let's put year, month, and weekday. No, I can't, but this is doing year over year change, so that doesn't make sense. Okay, so let's duplicate that. We don't need that. The map isn't particularly helpful, but maybe we can use it. All right, so let me just put some ideas together in a dashboard. So what I'm thinking here is I've got my heat map. Maybe I'll have my big numbers here. So let's say this is the Bronx, and let's make it black. And then this would be, 84.5, something like that. And then we're going to just duplicate these across. Like that. So we have our 5 boroughs, and then we could make these clickable. So we click on one of these and it drills that down. So that might be an option. So I could say something like click to drill. And then I have that. And then if I have my bar chart, do I have a bar chart that shows the difference? It does not. Okay. I'll just stick this here. So pretend this is that other bar chart that I created that has the difference between the two. So how's that going to look? I don't know. And we could maybe put the map over here on the right. So just pretend this is a map. So this will be kind of our map here. I don't know. I'm going to have to put it together. Oh, and here's another view we might want to look at, this kind of view. So a distributed dot plot. Or, so let's try again. So let's see. So if we wanted to look at this by, let's see, year and month, we could put the air temperature on the axis and then split that up by sensor ID and then by hour. And then by day. Okay, so this is going to split up the view for us, but it's going to be pretty slow probably. Maybe I get rid of the sensor ID. Let's see what that does. Okay, so if I want to make that kind of that sort of jittered view, I'm going to add the random function here. So the average of random, and that's going to split them out. Okay, and then let's make this fit entire view. Oh, this should be by month, not quarter. Okay. And then I'm going to set the scale on this to go from -0.2 to 1.2. That just kind of moves everything a bit closer to the middle. Let's put our average temperature on color. And maybe we could put a, let's drag on a reference line for each air temperature for each pane. And let's make it the median temperature. We'll just leave it like that for now. The line, that's okay. Right. So this is our kind of jittered plot. So we could maybe uncheck include 0, and that shows us the range a bit better. So I think I like that one. So this, what this is doing is, so this, so let's hide the header. This is average temperature. Yeah, so this is kind of every measurement. So if I put sensor ID on here, let's see what happens. It's probably going to draw a ton of marks. Okay. Oh, it's drawing 2 million marks now. Exactly what I said not to do. Okay, so let me, oh, come on. Come on. Let's switch this to an average since that's what we're talking about everywhere. Oh boy. All right. Good evening from India. Hello from Pakistan. All right, Jawad, very good. Thanks for joining Makeover Monday. All right, so this should actually be, why did it not change our sheet? We made it average. What's going on here? Let me just take some of these things off and see if that speeds it up. Okay, there we go. So let's put the, what did I have? Hour. And what was the other thing I had on there? Day, I think. What was it day? Yeah. Okay. Now that's upside down from the way it was before. No, it's not. No, I think it's okay. I could have swore it looked different before. We could put, let's see what a box plot looks like here. So what about the box plot? Yeah, the problem is people don't really understand box plots. So let me get rid of that. Let's edit this and let's make the label custom, average, and then value. There we go, something like that. Okay, so this might be useful as well. So this is average temp by, let's see, I'll just say by time. And let me color that. Okay, so I'm just going to group all these things together to make it easier for me to work with a dashboard. Okay. But maybe I could just have the borough as a filter, maybe on the left-hand side. So if I go back here, if I put, let's see, so where are my things here? So I could have maybe a some kind of drop-down filter for the borough. So this could say something like, it would be, Bronx or something like that. So we could have some kind of filter there. And then maybe we have a single big number that goes under here. Let's get rid of these. That just represents whatever that number is. Oops. So we could do something like that. And then I wonder if we could look at the trend for the Bronx over time. All right, so let's start doing some organization here. So I'm going to get rid of the phone layout because I don't want a phone layout. I'll leave it at 1000 by 800. I always start by floating in a vertical. If you don't know why, I have tons of videos on using containers, but basically it just keeps me from having to use tiled containers. And then let's see. So the layout for this object is going to start in the corner. And then 1000 by 800 to match the dashboard size. And I'll set my inner padding to maybe like, set it to like 20. Okay. So then let's drag in a title. So let's call this, for now, how hot is New York City? I will change that later. Something like that. And then maybe I'll put in, I always like having a little blank in there. And let's make this black background. Okay, something like that. All right, and now we need to think about how we want to lay out this dashboard. So we need to have, so these two will be in a container. So let's make that green. And then, oops. And then we'll have another container here that's going to hold these. And then we're going to have another container here that's going to hold those. Okay, so let's try that. So let's make that blue. Okay. And what did I say I was going to use for that, where I have that scatter plot? So that's, we're not going to use that now. We'll use that. We'll use that. These are my summaries. This is my variance. And then I was thinking about using my maps, if I can find them. See, this one's really neat too, because this compares 2018 to 2019. But I think this one is a bit easier to understand. Okay, so this is, so we might use these two. So I might do some kind of drill down map in here or something. Actually, maybe let's put our title here. So our title will be up here. And then maybe this could go like up here. Something like that. So now I don't need that one. I'm going to have two of these. No, I'm going to have one of these. And maybe it'll just fill up that space there. Okay, I think I've got it now. But not quite. Because I'm going to have that. Let's see. Right. We can kill this one. I'm not quite drawing this out the way that I had hoped. So this is going to be my map drill down. So let me delete that. And I'm going to just draw a map, or attempt to draw a map. So New York kind of looks like, something like that. Not really, but this is going to be New York. Okay. And then this is going to have drill down capabilities. Maybe I don't worry about that. But if I choose Bronx here, this could drill down to the Bronx. Maybe that's what I'll do. So this could just be filtered by the borough. And we want to make this, let's just do all. And then this will zoom in on those sensors. Okay, yeah, I think that's all right. So maybe I don't need this one. We'll do this one. Okay, I think I've got it now. Okay. This is the one that's going to go at the bottom, I think. It'd be better to put that down here and then the map over here. Okay. And this here, let's see. Where's mine? There we go. So this is going to have something like that, but we're going to also have the kind of summary down the right-hand side here. So I need to have another container here for that. Okay. And then there's one container going around the whole thing. All right, so let's, okay, so let's just show the filter. We have our title. Oh, and then this is going to have a container as well. So it's going to have its own container. All right, I think I understand where I am now. But I'll wait to put that container until those things pop up. All right, so now down in the lower part of the dashboard, I want to have a vertical container. And then I'm going to just drag my map in there, just so I have something in that container. And I can get rid of this stuff later on the right-hand side. Okay, and then I need to have my other container. So this one here, this is going to have it's going to have that in there. How's this going to work? How am I going to lay this out? So this might take a bit of guesswork here. All right, let me just bring in my... Okay, so this container is a horizontal. So I want that in there along with this one. So this becomes quite the nightmare. So that's this. Okay, so I want something like that. So this is going to act as a summary for these, but I'll fix the height of it later. But then I need to have another one down here. Okay, so I need to bring in a vertical container inside of that container. put this inside of that, and then put my summary inside of that. Okay. And then again, I'll end up fixing the right-hand side here. All right. So this is giving me the hour of the day. And fit an entire view. Let's make this one fit entire view. Make this one fit entire view. Okay. So now I want to get all these things to line up. So in this sheet, I'm just going to put I'm just going to create a calculated field called blank. And it's just nothing. Let's put that here. And I'll hide the field. Actually, I'll leave the field label there for now. And then I want to do the same thing here, but put it in the columns. So what this is going to allow me to do now, hopefully, is rearrange the size of this field to match that. So now these match up nice and neat. And then this one, okay, so this one isn't quite right. So this needs, right, okay. Oh boy. Let me make, right, okay. Because I can bring this down to match that. Well, almost. Still, oh, okay, it doesn't line up. But now I need something at the bottom as well. Okay, so if I go to this sheet, and then I need to put something at the bottom. Let's put another one in there. And show innermost level at the bottom. When there is a vertical axis. Ah. So that's not going to work. Yeah, so now I have that down there. Okay, so if I make this a bar, we get something close to, let's make the size as big as it'll go. Okay, so we've kind of emulated that now, but now I have an axis at the bottom. So let's uncheck, include in tooltip, unclick and show header. All right, so hopefully now I can bring the bottom of this up to match pretty close. Oh, it's not quite the same, is it? Oh, this one has a title. It becomes just a little bit of a pain in the neck to get it just right. But what the heck? All right. Oh, boy, it's frustrating. So that matches there now. Ah, there we go. Okay. So what I can do on this one then is how do I let people know that's the summary? Let's go back here. I'm just going to put okay. I think I made the other one 30. Yeah. And then, so now this, how do we want to format these? Let's go. What's this one here? This is Tableau book 9. Okay, so let's do the same thing here. Tableau book 9, that. Oops. I wonder if we shouldn't do weekday here. So what's that going to look like now? Yeah, does the weekday really matter? Probably not. Okay, so let's go back to this sheet now and make this by hour. But that should be okay. But this one should be by hour, by month. Okay, good. So that's good. Let's rename our blank field. Where is it here? Where's my blank? Oh, there it is. Maybe I should call it like average header. Didn't we try a parameter action, maybe dynamic zone visibility swap sheets on the dashboard? I was going to do that, Jawad, but I don't think I really want to. Yeah, I mean, we could swap between like a map view and something else maybe. I don't think the map is really actually adding any value. So I'm actually going to kill the map. And then this needs to line up. Still won't line up nice and neat. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay, that's pretty good. So now I think I'll leave the gaps in between there because I think that looks okay. But maybe on the average one, let me format the borders and change this to none. Same thing on this one. Let's change this to none. Okay. So something like that. I'm now going to go to my container here that has all the junk. And we want to go inside that, inside that. Let's float this one for now, because then I can kill this container. All right. So let's put a horizontal container here. This is going to go in there. And then this is going to go in there as well. This container can now go away. And let's make this a multi-value dropdown just so it takes up less space. Right. And then I could have so let's make this all. Did that do anything? Yeah. Just doesn't change much. Okay. And then we could get rid of that. Oh, it's so annoying. Okay. So that gives us the overall temperature. And then down here, this does kind of the same thing. All right, so let's go edit the height. Let's maybe make it 3 times as big. So let's make it maybe 400. Nope, not quite that big. Okay, and then I should be able to line these up as well. So let's edit this axis, get rid of that. And then hopefully I can line these up nice and neat. Let me just squirt that over a little bit. Come on. Okay. So that should hopefully all line up nice and neat, but I need another blank over here. So let's put that here, this sheet in there, and then I'll just put a blank in here. Edit width is 30. Edit width is 30. Unpin that. Okay. So now we can hide the headers. Right. Okay, so let's go to come on. I'm just going to make these nice and small. Let's see what that looks like now. Okay. And each of these is, it's a day, an hour. So we're going to get rid of the tooltip. So in here, we want to get rid of this in the tooltip. Get rid of that in the tooltip. Get rid of that in the tooltip. We want that. The hour we can get rid of. So now we should just have the day, the date, and the air temperature. Okay. So now we can just click on that. All right, so now we got a nice, neat tooltip. Oh, I probably should have the hour as well. Let's see. So I could. So this is going to be my day field. And then my time field is make time. The hour is our hour field, comma 0, comma 0. So now if I put that here instead, I can now get rid of that. 8 a.m. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. So let's format that to be standard long tape. What does that look like? So let's say does it do AM and PM? So it didn't change anything. That was pretty okay. I'm not going to worry about it. I think I did the wrong place anyway. So let's format this view. Let's get rid of, let's get rid of our column grid lines. Let's get rid of our 0 lines. And let's get rid of our row dividers. And then in our column dividers, we want to reduce it by 1. And then I think we had something like that. So let's see what that looks like now. Okay, so that's all starting to line up nice and neat. Oh, this one needs the same formatting. So column divider is that middle. Yep. And then our, yeah, that one's okay. Great. All right. So that looks okay. I probably need to make the whole dashboard a bit taller. So this should be fixed height. Okay. And then this is fixed height. So if I make the whole dashboard taller now, this middle section should get taller. So let's, oops. Actually, we probably can make it thinner as well. Something like that. Do I even need this down here? Is that doing anything for me? Probably not. It shows the distribution. But is it just junk? Okay, yeah, I think I'm just going to get rid of it. And then I need to put a text box. Just making sure I give credit to where the data came from. And just make it gray and small. Okay. Okay, something like that. Now the whole thing doesn't need to be so tall. Okay, so we can get rid of that. All right, so now we need to go clean up our other tooltips as well. So there's none there. Not using that one. So it's June 2018. Okay, so let's fix this here. So we're going to say June, and then the year. Something like that. Yeah, so that's good. This should be, this is. Notice how I always save my tooltips for, well, nearly always save my tooltips for the end, because those, I don't want to have to be changing them all the time. A couple other things here. So my 0 line exists here. So let's format that. The lines, let's get rid of our 0 lines. How about this one? No 0 lines, just in case. Okay, so then let me align this. Alignment. Where's the alignment for that? Format. Alignment. Left. No. Bottom. Center. There we go. All right, so that looks all right. So I guess maybe I should make this one wider. Let's see. So let me do this again. Let's automatic. And then if I make this wider, let's make it maybe 70. So that looks like it's now about the same size as those. And then we can clear. Let's put this at the bottom. Okay, so I can't do it at the bottom because then it doesn't line up with the months. That's all right. Let's make this a bigger font then. And then maybe same thing here. But then this one should probably be ever so slightly taller. This should maybe be 35. Maybe a bit smaller than that. Where's my height? It doesn't let me change it. Okay, that looks a bit better. But again, I have so much trouble getting these things lined up perfectly. It's super annoying. Okay, there we go. All right. So I can probably get rid of this line here. All right. Let me see. Let me try one other thing here. So if I go to this sheet and let's go to hour. No, I don't want to do that. I was going to group these by morning and evening, but I think that's kind of unnecessary. All right. Doesn't tell me a whole lot, does it? Kind of pointless. Well, I wonder if I just wasted a lot of time. That's okay. You should know how to kind of do all this layout now for one of these sort of heat maps with 3 sheets. Shouldn't we try a primary? Okay. Any other comments while I'm doing this? Does this make sense at all? I'm not sure this is all that useful. I could go back here. Let's see if I still don't know how they did this. So they must have more data or something. Let's see. Because I do, it's almost like I should have maybe this is a summary, and then like Jawad said, maybe we could have a dynamic zone visibility to drill down into a different dashboard. But I'm not going to bother with that now because it's been an hour and a half already. So I think what I'll do is in this layout, I'm going to go to outer padding. I just want to give myself a bit of room there. And then I think it was 423. Sensor ID. 423, right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Gets us the nice little padding there. I'm just going to choose Manhattan because that's the widest word. And let's edit the width of this to make it maybe 90. Okay. I don't love it, but I need to be done. Honestly, most of this makes sense. Good to know. I found. Honestly, most of this is going over my head until I data camp YouTube this further, but seeing the process work. Okay, great. Sorry, Nico. I don't really have time to go into every single little detail. But the biggest, I mean, it was quite the challenge here to do these layout containers. That in itself is a pretty good lesson. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. What I would do from here is go ahead and create my extract. Let's remove that. And I'm going to just save it in the same place. What was this called? I'm very annoyed that the data doesn't look like theirs. Okay. And then let's switch this back to all. Still don't like the width of that. Let's edit the width and make this. Oh, it's so annoying. It's so annoying trying to get this just right. There we go. Okay. So then I probably should save this. I should have done this a long time ago. We're on week 39. This is heat, New York City street temperatures. Okay. And then all you need to do from here is publish it up to Tableau Public, and you're good to go. So I hope you found that useful. I'd always, I'd love everybody's feedback. So if you have any feedback for me, please do leave a comment. It should show up, and I can try to address them. Can't promise. And then otherwise, I will be back next week for another Watch Me Viz on Monday, and then I'm going to have the week after that off because I'm going to be on holiday. So everybody have a great week. Take care of yourselves, learn as much as you can, and I will see you again next week. Bye.